necessarily me falling out of love with the game. It was me trying to accept that maybe this may not be for me. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Today.
It's been a while. I joined a new club. This injury is actually bigger than I'm trying to tell myself it is. Hello, I'm Lebang Makape, and this is NMJ from One. So I'm from a small town in the northwest, very small town. It used to be a big town, Mafikeng. Or Mahikeng, however you want to pronounce it. Lived with my grandmother from the ages of birth till 14.
And has it always been a dream for you to be a professional footballer?
That was my life. From the ages that I can recollect, that was my life. I wanted to be Neymar. I wanted to be Luis Figo. I wanted my name to be on the back of a lot of children's shirts and be that inspiration that some kids need in this world. I would say my first recollection of that was the 2010 World Cup. A number 3 for the Ghanaian team missing the crucial penalty in the quarterfinal.
The referee's assistant is flagging. Coming out as well. Well, the Anthony drama. Asamoah Gyan has the opportunity to send Ghana into the semi-finals of the World Cup. And he hits the bar!
I thought he was a defender, so I was like, why is the defender taking a penalty? And then I found out it was the star striker. From the ages of 6 till 14, I didn't have a club. There weren't many establishments in the town that had football clubs, and if it was a football club, it was like the rural local team. I played for my school, the International School of South Africa. We did play in the regional Coca-Cola Cup. We did make it to the final when I was in grade 6, playing for the first team of the primary school. So we made it to the final. Unfortunately lost to the final because of my penalty kick. They forced me to take a penalty, but I was the youngest in the team. So on school breaks, I would always come this side because my mom lived this side working. I would always come this side and play for BSS, well, super sport schools, but it used to be called Brazilian soccer schools back then. So I used to train with the likes of Carl Allen, and his brother, who is now playing professionally, Dean Kruger, who played in the DDC, and a lot of just athletes that have been in the system since they were 8, 7. And I learned a lot from that. From there, got my first club, which was Randburg FC. The important thing that they drilled from the beginning is that the chances of all of us making it are very slim. The chances of any of us making it are very slim. And I took that lesson into life, saying, if you don't make it, if you worked hard and you believe that you actually worked hard and you gave it your all and you don't make it, it's not on you, because the possibilities are not in your favor anyway. And I took that so deeply. It's like, you can work your hardest, you're strong. You can be the strongest in the team, the hardest, the fastest, the most willing to work afterwards. If someone doesn't say that it's your turn or that I'm picking you, then your chance is near nothing. Going into that super sports setup, it was a culture shock, if anything, because I went from playing with people that are just playing because they want to play to playing with people that had the same goal as me. So to them it was kill or be killed.
Yeah. And to have such a mentality at such a young age, would you say it's important for aspiring footballer at such a young age, or would you say it should have been a bit more calm or relaxed sort of type of vibe?
I think there's a mixture to it that I feel like throughout the years, I was lucky enough to get both sides where it's not as serious. It's still serious, but it's not like if you don't win, it's the end of the world. And I've had that pressure of if you don't win, it's the end of the world. So the thing that South African football needs is to strike a balance between that tough love that most athletes need, which I still think to this day that most athletes need that little bit of push and drive, that no one's coming to come save you. You need to do the hard work, do the hard miles. But it also, at that young age, could also be detrimental to their mental health. It affects athletes bigger than most people actually think. Because when the fear of messing up because your coach will shout at you. As a young kid, you don't know any better. You know that if I mess up, someone's going to shout at me. And that lesson doesn't normally come out good for most people. My mom was my agent basically for the majority of my life. So she would talk to the super sport coaches weekly on why or how I can get better, because I have missed a crucial part in the development. I had missed the basics of football, of professional football, opening your legs, pointing your body where you needed it to be, like positioning and all that. Like I'd missed all that, not necessarily theory, but that understanding of how football is played on a minute level. So I made it a virtue to work and work and work and work. And the coaches saw that and informed my mom that Randburg AFC, the academy, not the more social side, the academy, was looking for a new influx of players at my age. Luckily, I was in that age bracket where they needed players. So I went to go trial, got accepted into the academy side, and the weirdest and most powerful thing actually fell onto my lap, I believe, is that the year I joined is the year Pirates announced their partnership with them.
Okay.
It's the year they announced their partnership with them, but it would only be in effect the year afterwards. And it was quite a scary thing because I went, in the matter of a year, I went from playing social to playing in a Super Sport Development Academy to playing potentially for Pirates. So my first few months into playing for Randburg, I could already tell that the level that they expect from you is nothing but the best. If you're not your best, even at training, there was coaches always picking and just trying to like correct your mistakes, but slowly and like trying to drill it into your head. This is why it's wrong. I had to learn everything that I hadn't learned. I had to learn it within the first 3 months because I knew of the potential of playing for Pirates one day, which was, at that age, I understand that it's all about fun and football, but I feel like at that age, it's the most crucial thing in a player's development is understanding that switch from it's no longer a social thing. Because there's people from the townships that come. The lucky thing is that Randburg is more of a, on the higher end, more affluent kids go there because of the fees and everything. So more affluent kids go there and they try and instill into their players that from a young age, there's people from Soweto, there's people from Dobsonville that would cry for the opportunity to play for Pirates, that would cry for the opportunity to play for any club level standard football academy. So my mom's been my biggest supporter ever since I told her, look, I want to be a professional footballer one day. And I was very, how would I say, stubborn. I was very stubborn and I was very like, this is what I want to do. And it was option A or no option at all. My goal isn't to be the biggest, best player. It's to make money out of this and make it a career. Whether that be in the Saudi League, in the Turkish Super League. As long as I'm playing football and getting paid and being able to live a life of comfort while doing that, that was the goal.
Wow. And can you just tell us about the challenges that you came across during that period?
We played under the Pirates name, we played in the GDL. I didn't really get minutes in it, which I would say came down to nepotism. I hate talking bad about others and the system, but this is the reality that we have to face in this country, is that sometimes the chances you get will be hindered by someone else's need to put their own nest into that system. So I had played the same position as the coach's son. He was injured when the switch over from Ramberg to Pirates happened, so he got an injury just before that had happened, and he was working through that injury. I was playing for Pirates. Output wasn't the greatest, I think, in that first season, which I had not completed. I wasn't like the best in the GDL under 15 league. I wasn't like shooting up stars or lighting up the world, but I was doing my part in my team for as much as I could do. Then the son had finally come off his injury, and I was immediately put on the bench. He hadn't trained as much as we had over the beginning 3 months. He hadn't trained as much, but as soon as he was really past fit by the physio, then I had automatically been put on the bench, and he was starting against Chiefs, against Supersport, and vitally that I feel took a very hard mental toll on me. And I think the last 5-6 games of the season, they had said they're loaning me to the Ramberg side of the under 15s.
Okay.
So I had been, they didn't want to say it, but I had been demoted to the second team, which wasn't Pirates affiliated.
Yeah.
And I don't want to speak bad about an institute, but it was kind of a known thing that this is happening in that system. It was kind of a known thing that things like that do happen, and they do tend to happen. And he was, as much as he was the manager, he was also part of like the board of something at the club. So really the complaints are going to him.
Yeah.
So after being demoted, I had gone through a really tough patch mentally. Dropped down to the reserve team, played there. The goal output also wasn't the best in the first season. Well, the end of the first season over there. And it cast a doubt in my mind of, am I ready to actually be a professional?
It's the second day of my off-season series. I have a gym session that I will be taking you guys through. It's more of a football-specific gym session, working on the legs and upper body.
And in that trying, in that failing, that's when I had picked up my injury. I had overworked myself, overworked my knee, overworked my body, and hadn't taken the steps to develop my body as a unit. I was just like, my mindset was bigger arms, bigger abs, bigger quads. That was it. I just needed to look bigger, look stronger, be the fastest, be the strongest. And I feel like that's when my body gave way. It had stopped raining just before we went out for training. Everyone was in their hoodies. It was like freezing cold. So we hadn't warmed up properly. We were just kicking the ball around. We'd gone into the first drill, which was a passing drill. So it was very light, very easy. I had felt my knee, like some discomfort in my knee, but I was like, it's fine. I probably just like landed on it wrong. So then we played a 11v11. So the ball had come to me. 2 attackers were pressing me, but with like high pressure. So they were sprinting to me, and as the ball came, I let it come across my body, and as I pushed off, I believe my knee dislocated. Penyo, the footballer I played with,
Yeah.
he was the closest player to me, and he heard my knee pop. So he stopped and he's like, "Coach, he's actually like really, really hurt." So the game stopped. They took me off the field, called my parents to say I got injured on the field. I had to be rushed to hospital, and they had informed me that I had to have surgery on my knee.
What went through your head at that point?
At that point, I thought everything was done. I thought I was gonna need crutches for the rest of my life, or maybe they needed to amputate my knee. So there was a lot of things going through my mind, whether this was the end, whether I could come back from this. It was a really dark time for me.
When that incident happened,
Yes.
where was the thoughts of the coach? Did the coach speak to you or try and console you, saying we'll be waiting for you, anything like that?
In the beginning, yes. Because it happened in front of his eyes, and we had to send a medical report to Randburg to say I can't come to training because I can't walk.
Yeah.
In the beginning, yes, the sympathies were there from the club, even from the Supersport club, which I had left.
Oh.
They had sent a package saying get well soon, showing their support. But as time went on, football, unfortunately, is a cruel sport,
Yeah.
and they also have to move on. The season doesn't stop just for one player that got injured. So they had to move on without me, and he had to focus on the players that were there, because his job at the end of the day is the players that are there performing or not performing. So over time, the communication had dropped, and it was just silence, and I had to deal with it, what felt like, by myself. And I isolated myself from friends, from family. Luckily, I hadn't gotten into anything serious like alcohol or drugs. Like I just was down and wasn't feeling the best because everyone else was developing and growing and doing what they love, and I couldn't even walk without assistance. But that taught me a very, very valuable lesson, that as much as football is a team sport, being your individual best is what makes you you, and what makes you stand out from everyone else, and what makes coaches look at you and be like, oh, I need him in my team. It was a me thing. It was me getting too comfortable in the position that I was in. I was too comfortable because I was already a Pirates player. I was walking around. Everyone knew that the team that's arriving is the Pirates team. So I feel like that comfortability is what hindered me in the following years, but I did find that spark again. We all knew who the coach was.
To be honest, I would love to win the league.
With the Soccer Public MTN 8 semi-final.
We signed up because of who the coach was, what they had given us information about, and how they were gonna go about things. And we found that it was more worth it going there than staying at Randburg and going back to Randburg. So that was the next step in the journey after the pandemic happened. In the beginning, there was a lot of self-doubt, a lot of, can I be as good as I was before? Can I be as agile? Can I be as quick? Which were the traits that most coaches were like, he's fast, he's agile, like he can move, he's an athlete. So there was a lot of self-doubt in the beginning, and it showed in my performances. I was scared if someone was coming in too fast, I would like back out of the challenge and let them take the ball. I would still, after they take the ball, go and contest, but I didn't want the fate of my knee being in someone else's control. So it was always, I would always give 100% until I registered that this could be the next injury. This could be the next injury. Then I would pull my efforts back a bit, and that would hinder my performances a lot. And coaches started noticing that, and they sat me down, and they were like, "Look, you got injured. Fine, cool, but we need you to get over the fear that you're re-injured, because if you continuously just fearing that you're going to injure it, you're never going to be the best possible you, because now you're hindering yourself from being the best possible you." And now that conversation put it into it's you versus you now. It's no longer your knee's fault. It's no longer, because your knee is healed.
Yeah.
Your knees, you can sprint, you can jump, you can do everything that you were able to do before the injury. Now it's just a mental battle and getting yourself through it.
It's been a while. I've missed you guys. I've missed you guys. I'm back.
Wow, we need to catch up. I joined a new club, Boulder Stone Sports Institute, coached by Coach Zeka Marquez. Very good system, good semi-pro level.
There was a shift in the whole culture of the academy. New coaches, a new way of playing, a new demand of football, a different type of football. It was no longer about basics and enjoying yourself and enjoying the game. Well, this is my perspective on it. It wasn't about playing the game and being better and growing as a person. It now became more about the metrics, the numbers, and what modern day football is, unfortunately, is today. It became about who's best at doing what, and no longer about who can impact the most in certain spaces. And that year was probably, is the worst year mentally and physically in terms of numbers and everything in my football career. Was the self-doubt that I felt after the injury had dissipated and was gone, and I finally felt like I'm back on the right track. And then that year just felt like it knocked me back to ground zero. I felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like everything I had learned and the concept of football in my brain, the concept of being creative, the concept of thinking what others can't do, and being that creative outlet, always finding the riskiest pass, because the riskiest pass always has the highest reward. It's not always the safest or possession retaining pass, but the most forward and most outlandish pass that you see is normally the most fruitful one, but it's the most dangerous one, obviously. So that, I feel, was kind of chipped out of me, and I was taught to be more robotic, and I didn't enjoy football like that. I didn't enjoy the robotic sense that when you receive the ball, this is your option, and that's it. If you don't look there or there, it means you did something wrong. And that method of teaching didn't resonate with me.
And would you say the coach at that time, at your second year, restricted you in terms of being free as a player?
Yes, and that's where the positional change happened. That's when, because I had talks with him, talks about why I'm not playing as much, why I'm not involved as much, why sometimes I'd be left out of the squad. And it always came down to him saying, you just aren't doing enough. You're not crossing enough. You're not, there's not enough metrics necessarily to back up putting you in the team. And that's when the conversation about positional change from being a winger to being a fullback, that's when the positional change came up, because I was like, okay, cool. If the problem you have with me starting is that I'm not creative enough, I'm still physical enough to be a fullback. And he was like, okay, we'll test you out. And that's when I found that spark again, like I was saying. I found that spark. It's like, I kind of actually enjoy this. I can be what I was further back in the pitch and also have more influence because I'll have the ball more.
Yeah.
I loved it. Very, 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 very fruitful position. And I believe I should have been a right back from the beginning. I feel like I was profiled wrong in the beginning. But it's neither here or there. You can't take it back and restart.
Yeah.
And it was very fruitful. And then the second injury happened.
During your final year at BSI, after the injury, would you say that's when you started looking at other avenues to explore? Was the love of the game fading out? Or what was happening? What was going through your head? I mean, that's such a huge setback to get that injury again.
So what had happened in that year was I started doing life more, doing the things that a teenager that's trying to be a footballer doesn't do. I would feel like it was a coping mechanism of some sort, that like maybe this is not my calling and this is not what I wanted to do. I was fortunate enough to be privileged enough that I could step away from football and go into something else and have the support of my family and have the comfortability that, look, if football doesn't work out, you can always do something else. And I always had that little inkling that I liked music. Like, music was a healer. When I was going through those tough times as a footballer, I would listen to music. When I'd go through any adversity in my life, music was the thing to center myself again.